owe older citizens our thanks and a heartfelt salute. We can best demonstrate our gratitude and esteem by making sure that our communities are good places in which to mature and grow older, places in which older people can participate in the fullest and can find the encouragement, acceptance, assistance, and services they need to continue to lead lives of independence and dignity. So now therefore we, the Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim August 21st, 2024 as Senior Citizens Day in Dade County, Georgia. And so she invites, of course, all senior citizens to participate that day, but also anyone else that would like to come to the Senior Center that morning around 9 a.m. They're having a special day of activities at the Senior Center. Thank you.
Everybody good with that proclamation? Yep. Okay, put that on the consent agenda. And we have one more, and I think this is a new one. It's something that we're growing more and more used to and seeing. If you do any traveling, no matter where you go, you see people with service dogs, and they do serve a great cause for people with PTSD, elderly people, people with handicaps and disabilities. We've always had CNI dogs for those who are vision impaired or blind. So I will read this one. It's much shorter than that one, but it is proclaiming National Service Dog Month in Dade County. Whereas we believe in the joyful transformative power of the human-canine bond and exclusive of all citizens. And whereas in the United States, 64 million adults and children have disability and only 16,000 service dogs from accredited training programs exist nationwide, and the need is growing. Whereas Canine Companions is a nonprofit organization that enhances the lives of people with disabilities by providing expertly trained service dogs and ongoing support to ensure quality partnerships. Whereas Canine Companions and their service dogs empower people with disabilities to lead life with greater independence by providing best-in-class training, ongoing follow-up services, and deeply committed community of support. Whereas National Service Dog Month aims to educate our community about the benefits of service dogs and the laws protecting them. Whereas Dade County, Georgia continues to work toward becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens and their service dogs are embraced. And now therefore we, the Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim September 2024 in recognition of service dogs and the adults and children with disabilities in our community. We, our county commissioners, do hereby proclaim September to be Service Dog Month. And that's that. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
Yes. All right, we'll put that on the consent agenda. All right, then we go down to, we have two appointments. One is to the public library, the
Yes.
board at the public library, and this is to reinstate Ms. Sharon Moore for a 3-year term beginning today and going through 6/30 of 2027.
Yeah, it's an appointment. She's not on there.
Oh, she's not
Right,
being
right,
reappointed.
sorry. Yep.
Everybody knows Sharon, I'm sure, at this table, and most people throughout the community. Are y'all okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even ask Gary. All right, and then E is a resolution appointment of member to the Region 1 Developmental Disability. I guess he can say himself, hold your hand up and say aye if you're willing to serve then. And this is a 4-year appointment beginning today and going through 12/31 of 2028. As everybody knows, Joe, he's with our Sheriff's Department and jail here, so Joe, you just never know where you might run up on a job, so you just run up on one. Thank you for serving. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Guess I should ask that before we give it to him, shouldn't I? All right, thank you, Joe. All right, then we go down to number 5, approval of splosh and capital equipment. And the first thing on the list is an RFP or 2024-1 Ford Explorer and the Ford Interceptor. Tommy, is that you?
Yes, I think so.
So we sent out bids for a 2024 Explorer and or two Explorers, and then a 2024 Ford F-150. It's the first responder F-150 that's pursuit rated. And do you have that?
It's, yeah. Yeah, I'm having trouble.
Do you have the breakdown on it?
40, oh, right here. Keep on,
I can't read that.
scroll on down and make it
I have the
bigger.
glasses on.
Yeah, mine won't open either.
Yeah, about it, didn't they?
It's 44,820.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, I thought I had the breakdown part of it. Yeah, that thing, right there. So, for Prater, for the Explorer, the base price was $44,820.76. The warranty on it was $2,595 for a total of $47,415.76. Brannon was $47,165 without a warranty. So we'd like to go with, of course, Prater because it comes with the extended 5-year powertrain, 100,000 mile warranty on it. For the Prater Ford F-150, it was $49,385.16. With the warranty was $2,595. With the for the total of that was $51,980.16. Brannon Motors was $54,840, and they didn't include a warranty again. So Prater there again would win that one. For the total price of it with the equipment, which is the video cameras, is $8,971 for all three vehicles. Signing for the striping on it would be $845 for each Explorer, and then $999 for the Ford F-150. The equipment, which is the lights, the cage, the bumper, you know, all the emergency equipment that goes on it for the Explorers would be $12,778.14 a piece. For the truck, there is a difference because it's $17,541, but that includes a camper shell to go on the F-150, and then a pull-out thing that mounts to the floor so you can just pull it out, the tray. And of course, some of the other stuff's a little bit more just because it's a bigger vehicle, I guess. And then the radar stuff that we started putting in with it is $2,435 a piece for each vehicle. Then the radios, it's $6,566.67. But what we did, and we can deduct this if y'all don't want to do this, but we put a portable radio in with this, so we can just, instead of having to buy a bunch all at once, we just thought it might be better and easier to just do as we get the vehicles and kind of break it up to where they're not all expiring and having issues after the warranty expiring and stuff all at the same time. So I'll kind of leave that up to y'all.
Well, what do you think is better?
I mean, doing it that way does keep it from, I mean, we can just get a price with it. I'm okay with doing it that way, just because you're not buying as many up front, and they're not, I think it may be a little bit better. And then the laptops are $3,362 for each vehicle. So for a final on the Explorer for Prater is $82,374.66. For two of them would be $164,749.32. The truck for Prater would be $91,856.40 for a total of all three, $256,605.72. And one reason we're looking at the truck, just so y'all know, is the drone up there that Chad has brought. We were looking at a truck to put that in, so it'll have it's got a big battery box too that you have to have, and it'll be put on the tray, and it gives us something to work under when you lift the lid up and stuff with it. So that's the only reason that we're asking for the truck for the patrol side. And Chad was gonna come talk to y'all about the drone. I think he said he could get that for around 100,000. So, I'm just kidding. He's not asking for that.
With these numbers. No joke. So
That's
what we're
probably worth
looking
the
at
truck right there.
is either 256,605 with the radios or deducting the
Yes.
18,000 for the three.
So let me get the radio price.
I know what your feelings on that.
Be 18, 19,
I'd include
close
it.
to $20,000 with,
So the radios,
I would include it.
so one of them is for the vehicle.
Get it?
Oh, wait, that's. Let me find it in here. Alex, give me a breakdown of it. So,
The Motorola's?
yeah,
are you talking about just for one of the vehicles or
So-
that for all three of them? I mean, just,
so each one of these, for all three of them, is 19,700. So if you divide that by three, that'd give you cost. But
yeah, they're 65, 66, 67.
yeah, so for the vehicle itself, it is $2,700. Or wait, hold on, that may be, okay, no, $2,700 is for the portable.
Okay.
The Motorola radio that goes in the vehicle itself that we have to have is $2,900. So if you only wanted to do the Motorola, the radio for the vehicle, not the portable, you could deduct $2,700 off it, those three. So I'll kind of leave that at,
Well, what do
that
you,
makes sense, Don?
it
No,
does,
not really. Just, I would recommend you just keep it in
The
there.
only thing that I ask is if we do the stationary in the vehicle and the portable, split it apart so we can see that we've just bought 3 portable radios for the police department.
Yeah,
Because right now, this just shows radios and you just assume it all goes to a car.
Yeah.
And then, but if you break it up, then we know we can put a radio in the car and also give you a
Yeah,
portable
portable.
radio as well.
and we'll have it documented with, the portables. So we broke it down like that when we got the price,
Okay.
so.
yeah.
So that's
Well, I
how
mean,
y'all
you
wanna-
would, the portables would be what you're trying to use, right?
Yeah, the portables is what we carry on our sides to be able to communicate.
Right, so then it would just be something, when you get into that car, that's what you have already, because it's on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then that's what we talk on when we're out of the vehicle.
Right, yeah.
It's just something that we thought might be a little bit easier. Like I said, y'all don't have to do it, I wanted to put the option out there for
Right.
y'all.
I would recommend you do it.
Yeah,
But,
it sounds to me like that's
Just
what,
to get it,
that's,
Especially if that's,
not like you're not gonna use it. I mean.
yeah,
it's-
that's the direction you're wanting to go.
Alex gets the old radios.
That's
and I
right.
don't know what
Because
he does
we
with
always
them.
reuse them.
So
Yeah,
I think some of them may go to the fire departments. I don't know what he does with them.
yeah,
so the bottom line is we're looking at the big number to the right, the 256,605.
Yes, I totaled all three of them, and that's the big number.
Then we look at our big guy that knows numbers.
And we do have all that available. I mean, SPOS has been coming in very helpfully
It is.
for months, so, I mean, or 3 years, really, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's,
So what's your turnaround on these? Is it still crazy?
No, actually, the truck will be on the lot tomorrow,
Oh, good.
because he had one
Yeah,
that he located and he was getting regardless. And then the 2 Explorers probably here, I don't know, he ordered like 12, and they're supposed to hit sometime, and, well, this month sometime.
okay, good. Yeah,
It's better than it was.
yeah, yeah, it's
So
good.
he orders bulk, certain colors, because he knows that he can get rid of them.
Yeah,
So I figured July would be, or 1st of August would be a good time to, start doing this part.
So, for me,
Yes, sir.
basically, we're buying an F-150 because we might be buying that.
No, we
We own that.
we own that.
We already own that.
Yeah, we own that. I was messing with you when I said that.
Okay.
No, that is paid for. No, we own that. That's not,
He was pulling it.
yeah, I was pulling your chain. Making you
they
nervous.
want two.
Yeah, we want to. Now, we just brought that so y'all could,
How does it, as far as our SPOS and what we budgeted for the time frame, how does this, I mean,
It fits. We budgeted.
because our numbers is almost double on what we were spending
It
2
has,
years ago.
but we had been budgeting up to 4 vehicles a year. And
Okay.
they did only 3 last year, and this is 3 this year, so.
Okay.
I mean, they are
no drones.
a whole lot more expensive than they used to be, of course.
Do you
Yeah.
wanna,
We were looking back at some older stuff the other day, and we could.
we went up
in the day, you could
30,000.
Get a car for $30,000, now it's 82,000, so, or 47 really, but.
Yep, my only thing is to just, on this, just break out the radios that are going in the car, that we have a stationary and a portable.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Lamar, you got any questions?
No, I'm good.
You say you're good?
Don said that's the way to go.
I think
All right, everybody's good with 256-60572, add that to the consent agenda. Don't come back for a year, Tommy.
No, next, August, I'll try to keep it. I'm gonna put it on the calendar.
All right, and then under 5B, we have an RFP for public works vehicles. And I suppose that'd be, I saw Billy Massengale, oh, there he is.
Billy asking for a truck, he need one.
he does.
Yeah, we-
I'm not gonna ask for all the fancy radio Tommy had. We'll take our strings and cans out, keep using them. But if you got any handheld, I would like to have them updated ones. Here is the list of, everybody likes to see it. This is their vehicles within our fleet with their mileage on all of them. I might be aware, might not. Our insurance adjuster, last time he come in, he suggested me getting a couple of new trucks.
And just for reference, everybody, we're looking at some go back as far as 1995
Yes, sir.
and some
you-
2007.
If you notice, some of them got 500,000 miles on them. Well, there's one 489,000. But like I said, with all our lights and radio, we'll take the old out and put in. You look at the mileage on it. Anybody knows our type of work, the truck's idle 9 to 10 hours a day, so whatever that mileage is, if you figure the hours on the engine by 35 miles an hour, it'd be roughly 3 times the miles on those trucks. The problem with the trucks, I mean, we can keep it running, we can put motors, and we can put transmission, but the bodies are rusting out. And our seat shield, ACCG, suggested it was time to do something. We sent out bids to 4 or 5 different places. Jackie Jones, Mountain View Ford, McCartney, Landers Ford, Prater's Ford. I don't know, Don, I think he said we only got one back. Nobody liked to bid against Prater for the past several years. Nobody come close. I guess they don't wanna waste their time. I don't know. That's all the bids we received back on it. And by looking at the mileage on this is just the beginning for us.
Yeah.
We went a long time without getting anything but. And what I'd like to do with y'all's approval, if you look down there, we got a unit number 42, 2002, GMC 7500. I'd like to sell that and put the money toward this one. There's a problem with that and with the GVW on it for what we do with it. Somebody bought a farm truck instead of a dump truck. You understand what I'm talking about, Philip?
Yeah, you had some problems. That's the one you had the problems down here moving the,
No, that's another one we had a problem. Like I say,
let's don't dig any deeper. 'cause
Yeah.
we
coming
don't
to
get
the
warned
end,
yet.
we're coming to the end of our life with something. We can't get parts for a lot of them. We have to go to eBay. We get a lot of parts for junkyard. Luckily, Carlin Poor out here got a truck junkyard. We get a lot of parts from him. That's on the 2 Ford. Then, we had talked about a tandem truck. And as of now, we only have one bid on it. I think, I don't know if Don got it ready or not. It came in yesterday.
That one from Tennessee Kenworth
Yes, sir.
we got here. I assume this is it.
I thought that was high, so we got to talking around. Mr. Clark Kennedy, he just bought 2. He paid $300-something thousand for the truck we can get for 210. We don't have to pay the, what is it, FT, what is that tax?
FICA tax.
We don't have to pay that tax, which is 12%. We don't have to pay taxes on the truck. And this was priced through the government deal and Sourcewell. Sourcewell come out better than the government deal on it. But you've been in construction, if you could buy that truck right, you could buy them and flip them every day. This truck right here, with, expected with 44 rears on it, 2024 on the front, that truck can actually grow 100,000 pounds if needed. It has, if you're familiar with on the dump, it has a high lift on the back, which we will not be having to take tailgates in and out, hauling much stumps and debris as we do. It would be handy, and that is offered through Kenworth. There, did you get those 14 pages of the specs on the truck?
On the truck?
13. There's 13 pages of specs on that truck. This is with a Cummins. It's not a Packmeyer motor. Packmeyer's a good motor, but nobody right here works on them. This would be with a Cummins. Everybody works on Cummins.
And you're talking about the dump now?
Yes, sir.
At Kenworth. And you're just in Chattanooga? I mean, with.
Yes, sir, that's in Chattanooga. This truck is actually fixing to enter the line, and I don't remember what he said the time frame was. Couple of weeks, they could go ahead and instead of getting the Packmeyer motor, they get the Cummins motor put in it. It's a lot of money, but you look at the age and mileage, we can rent trucks now. Going rate about $135 an hour. 10 hours a day, it adds up quick.
Can you get by with 4 hours a week?
Yeah, we can. We figure put down what, Don, $1.2 million for asphalt?
What do you think on this Kenworth? What do you think the trade-in value is gonna be 2 years down the road?
What I think, what?
Trade-in value. You think we do it like they do Max?
Oh, on that GMC, I'm talking about
No,
getting,
no, no, on this 2025 Kenworth.
what I think the resale will be at the end of his time. Kenworth is one of the best resale trucks out there, that and a Peterbilt. We can buy some trucks that'd be cheaper. We can buy a Volkswagen, or we can buy a Cadillac. We don't gotta have a Cadillac, but I like not to have a Volkswagen.
Hey, hey, hey.
No offense there, Mr. Bradford, Volkswagen family. But a Kenworth will bring more, kinda like buying either a John Deere or a Cat in equipment when it comes time to get rid of it. But Kenworth and Peterbilt is one of the few, if not the only one, that you can still get parts from years back. Kinda like an old John Deere tractor, made in 50, you can still get every part for it.
Well, it
Which-
don't look like you let them go, so I don't
Well,
think
we
that'll
hold
be a
on to 'em.
problem.
We try to get our money worth out of them.
You did a good job, Billy. I did
Yeah.
that. So what are you asking for here tonight? Exactly, because our computers are down.
We just try to do what we can with what we got.
Yeah, the Kenworth that's the 219, 295, right?
Yes, now,
Right there, it's up there.
he thinks, well, you see, he put that at estimate. I don't like,
Did you say it's, how much, I got 53, what you got? What's your number?
55, one
You're
nine.
getting 53, 351, 32 is what it's showing here.
That's what it's showing here, but now we did, there was, for another $1,000, I think, they added 2 years to they could add 2 years to the warranty. I think it was another right at $1,000. Did you hear him?
Yes.
He called me back.
Yes.
Is that the number he quoted you? Is that the one that you're quoting, the 54?
the number he quoted was with that warranty.
No,
Was it?
53, 351, but that is a, remember we were gonna add, is it 2 years? Or was it 100,000, up to 100,000 on mileage?
100,000 on the mile.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Cause you said we probably won't get that on the mileage as far as.
We won't get the mileage. Anytime we can buy a warranty, we better get a warranty longer in years than miles.
Right, so.
We
he
don't
was
put that
willing to
many
go up
miles on it. We put a lot of
For
hours
$1,000 more
on it.
dollars was gonna get up to 100,000 versus,
Extended warranty.
yeah.
The extended warranty was,
Well, this is in-
2,900 for 5 years, 100,000. That's basically bumper to bumper warranty on it.
There was, he quoted though, that is included in this, but there was, we inquired about an additional.
Yes, which I tried to ask if we could go like 7 years
Yeah,
with a
that's what it was.
75,000 mile warranty.
For an additional, and that's what he was saying, for about another $1,000 per vehicle, he would do that. So it's up to y'all. I mean, it was bumper to bumper, but
If you get one to run
got a shop.
4 years, odds are it's gonna make it another few years. Anything usually don't go bad happens within the
That's a pretty good
first.
deal for
So
another.
the original is
This is-
bumper to bumper for what?
53, 351, 32 includes a 5-year, 100,000 mile warranty.
Okay, and then you're
this truck.
saying for
For about, it was
another-
right at $1,000, it was adding another 2 years or 75,000 miles to the,
You go up 2 years on time, but you
Yeah.
lose 25,000 on miles.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a shop. I
yeah,
don't know if it's-
I'm good with not doing that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too, really. I think
How do
we
you
ought to do
feel,
the
Billy?
5-year warranty.
How do you feel about that, not doing it?
On that extra.
Yeah.
I think 5 years, which is included, 100,000 on it.
Yeah, I do too.
Drew? But he's asking for 326,000 roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, one dump truck and two 250s.
That's right.
Like I said, the 2 Ford, we got to have insurance. Good thing about it now, they're newer one, they're aluminum, they're not gonna rust.
Yeah,
But these have been running salt for what, 21 years? We've been pretty lucky.
they don't make them like they used to though.
Well, we do pretty good. When they're used out, one of our, come right in, they got to be pressure washed. I mean, we know what salt will do to equipment.
That's right. It's right at 326. That's right. Some change.
Yeah,
Well, I got 325, 997, 64, so that's
Right.
pretty good calculating and you
That's for the 3.
noggin.
You smell a dollar a mile away.
So we're getting rid of 24, 42, and 44.
Yes.
I'm good with it.
yep.
I would like to try to do this like we're doing our equipment now, though. Keep that in mind. Keep it rotated out. If we can do it like we do the Bobcats.
If, more than likely, if we buy a Kenworth for that price, 1 year, we could sell it on the open market, probably make $25,000 on it. That's what Philip's referring to. By doing that, we could have a new truck every year and bring a little off the principal we paid.
Right.
By doing this, we're getting, let's see, 12, 24, we're getting somewhere around 50 to 60 something $1,000 cheaper than anybody else can buy this truck. And we're gonna start paving next week off the studs. If anybody wants to come ride the paver, they're welcome.
Lamar, you
More-
gained,
more
you gained new shoes, Lamar. You want to break in?
I think I'm able this time.
Are we declaring 24, 42, and 44 surplus, or are we waiting until the other thing?
We cannot do it till we get some replacement.
Yeah.
Those are daily
This
drivers.
could be
They
2
will
weeks
be.
or 2 months.
So you're still using that number 9, the one on top, the Kenworth?
Yes, sir.
And
That's a
just so
good-
everybody's not looking at this, that's a 1999 Kenworth. With
Got
341,000 miles.
341,000 miles. We bought it at the repo, and today, counting what we paid for it, and I put an engine in it, we still $10,000, $11,000 in it. Still a pretty good truck.
25 years.
We can still get parts for it, it being a Kenworth. The old, what was it, 04, 05 Sterling?
04.
We can't get parts of those, electric parts. We have to go to junkyards to try to find parts.
Well, that's a pretty good record on that, I think, with the mileage and the years.
Billy been warning this for years, this day's coming, right?
Yeah, well, we've been saying it for years.
Well,
And I know, no, I
The
know.
thing I like, when we go hauling asphalt, we got our trucks running. Truck goes down, I mean, we lost $2,000 just like it on a load of asphalt. Any more questions on any of it, or
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
anybody, anytime y'all feel or got time, feel free to come down, look at our equipment, inspect it, see what we got.
everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to go, I wanna go see the mixing and stuff of the pavement and,
Make sure you wear good
You see
boots.
Lamar with the eye.
Or maybe
Lamar-
make sure you wear old boots.
I tell you a little story. Lamar came with us a couple of years ago, got on paver, Morganville Ridge, had a brand new pair of shoes. We got to the top, he went to get off, his sole melted off of his shoe.
Stayed all day though.
He
happened,
stayed
doesn't
with us, but he didn't have no bottom to his shoes.
I didn't, yeah, that rubber, first thing it did was just slide off the bottom.
All right, everybody good with that then? We do have the money, I suppose.
We do.
Okay. That's the big thing.
Yep.
Put that on the consent agenda. And we're not through yet, are we? Okay. Senior building flooring is
It's
5C.
down, they're back there working on it.
Senior building,
Yeah, I was hoping you.
mine ain't going nowhere.
So,
Get my report.
It just lost.
yeah, mine did too. So, just so everyone knows what's happening, we went to a electronic meeting packet, what, about 2 years ago? It's worked great till there's no internet tonight. So they're trying to get something restored for us, but some of this is on memory.
It worked great at home.
That's why I always like to do copy piece of paper.
Mine
here.
just came back up.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of hit and miss, but, all right.
Yeah, so what's the update on the flooring?
Yeah, we got, well, mine just disappeared again, hold on. Okay, yep. So on the flooring, we've been painted most of the building. The senior center has been painted. The lights, I'm pretty sure we're almost done, or we are done, changing that all to LED lighting. Some new plumbing fixtures. I don't know, Penny, what else we got going on down there? So, yeah, we pulled all the shrubs up. We're gonna finally get that fixed in the front and the back and the sides. So, we redid the bathrooms, which included the floors, but now we're ready to, take a look, or we recommend redoing the floors throughout. And so the offices look a whole lot worse than the main hallways and the commons area there, where a lot of people have rented. So we're recommending like a LVT or LVP, which is kind of like what's in the office back here and over in the Justice Building, something. So that's going to be in the offices. It doesn't scratch as bad. It doesn't, it holds up very well. If there was ever water or flood or something, it would hold up to that. And then in the main hallways and then the commons area that's rentable is this like this. It's a VCT, just replacing that. You know, if we go to try and replace a tile or two here and there, it's just, they're totally different colors.
Well, it's so
It
old.
just stands out. So it's just, recommended that we would do that. So that total came to, there were 3 bids, and this was the least expensive one. This is from Southern Wholesale Carpets. Stacy received those, Stacy Stevens, $27,469.63. Replaces, as far as I know, except for the kitchen, all the floor in the building. And the kitchen is a different type of, it's like ceramic type tile, yeah.
Local vendors are giving chance at that.
All local, these were all local.
That is,
Two local, and one out of, two local, and one out of.
Has ties to Sand Mountain. But anyway, those are the prices. It was $30,546, $29,764, or $27,496. So the lowest bid is Southern Wholesale, and that's purchase from them. It includes Cove Base that will go back around, and then the installation.
is that pretty much what we have left down there, just the floor and it's redone?
There's been talk of possibly enclosing that northern side, possibly someday, but that's not, that's not happening. It's not in the near future.
So we're looking at the Southern Wholesale flooring bid of 27 something. Everybody good with that?
Aye.
Yes, it's overdue.
I can see the agenda and I just turned my computer off because I clicked the wrong button.
Whoa.
They're only as good as the guy clicking the button, I think.
That's what they say.
There we go. All right, let's go down to number 6 is the approval of ARPA expenditure We've been in the SPOS, now we're in ARPA, and it is a generator for the jail. That,
This, right, and then Alex was gonna talk about this, but this was planned, and budgeted for under ARPA
A year or two?
almost 2 years ago. And so we've been actually holding that amount in, kind of a tickler account, whatever you want to call it, in reserve for ARPA. We had thought it would come in, we estimated that it would come in right at 150. And so the bid actually came, there were 2 bids submitted. One bid was 227,000, I think, and this one came in at 125,165. This is the person, Allied Electrical and Control is the one that we've actually been utilizing for the whole project anyway. He is also the person that spec'd it out. The other person that bid was from the Atlanta area, but it was, again, it was 227, it was 200 and something.
245?
Yeah, that's it.
245, 231,
That's, yeah,
58.
there it is, 245, yep.
Yeah, it's out of Atlanta. So the low bid's Soddy Daisy. So this is something that's been earmarked out of that ARPA
Has
thing.
been.
We didn't need to get.
And it's possible it won't cost that, but they don't know until they get in, under the ground, if it's encased in concrete or not, something about the conduit. So they just really can't tell until they get in there.
So again, we're doing up to that.
This is
that
up
amount.
to, yeah, this includes that, so it may come in less after they get in there if it's not the worst case scenario.
That's a lot of difference between the 2 bids on that one.
Yeah, it is. Might be a
Well, I
good
guess
thing.
coming from Atlanta, I don't know, I thought
Yeah,
that
get
too.
Atlanta prices. All right, so that's done been done. We're just looking at buying it. Was everybody still good with it?
Yeah, I'm good. It's-
Yeah.
Consented?
Where does that put us on our ARP money?
I'm gonna look to the,
I'll have to calculate
okay.
it if I can get it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
We done bought
that's-
the generator, correct?
Proposal to spray foam the roof decking of the attic. And that will make that entire area an envelope, and
They gonna condition it?
the upstairs, the attic, no, sir. It should be comfortable with spray foam.
What does that mean?
I mean, they're gonna spray the ductwork up above
What is
the,
that?
Put a register up there to blow conditioned air into it.
Okay, oh, air condition it. Is that what you?
Conditioned air, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So what they'll do, they'll spray 6 inches of open cell spray foam on the roof decking, and that takes pretty much away all your hot air that's seeping down into those registers and dripping
they'll
on
be
there with the
spraying
floor.
underneath the roof,
Yes, up in the attic.
the metal roof.
Yep.
On the decking.
All right.
That's, I mean, and we've been experiencing moisture buildup around those registers just in the last, because of the humidity's been so high, which did cause a little stress on the sand mound.
I can
But
imagine.
it's all under control. We brought in a couple of dehumidifiers this morning, and that helped, I think.
Probably 6 additional fans just to circulate the
Yeah,
air better,
to get
and
the
2
air.
additional dehumidifiers, and it's made a big improvement.
So are those gonna stay there?
No, not necessarily.
Hopefully
After,
not need 'em.
after they get everything closed up, right now, there's been some air penetrating through.
Yeah,
because
I
there's
know,
no
yeah, I know exactly.
insulation above there.
They're also selling off the walls and the vents as well. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
If you hadn't had a chance to go, I went in yesterday, first time in a while, and it's really looking good in there. They're getting, remind us again what your hopeful day is to get it.
We're
Walk
pushing
out
to
of
get everything we can get done by the 16th, like we stated in the last meeting, and we're gonna try our best to hit it.
They're getting close. I mean, it's,
What was that dollar?
That's all right.
what is that? 11,000?
540.
11,561. And that spray, this is what we put in the storage unit. And I'm telling you, we're able to heat and cool that practically nothing.
That should really
great
help with
stuff. I wish it was in my
the
house.
heating on that high building over there, so.
Right.
Yeah, the whole building, yeah, the whole B.
All right, anybody got any
Didn't
questions?
seem like a high price either compared to what I've been
I
looking at.
know.
No, it's come way down in price.
That's amazing.
Anybody got
So
any
we're
more
good with
questions for
that,
Cole?
including this? Okay.
All right.
Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, number 8, we got Mr. Chad Payne wanting to fly a drone, take everybody's picture.
Try not to fly it in here. I think you get pretty mean.
Speaking.
So, as y'all can see, I got a pretty cool tool here. Gonna start talking to you.
I don't have a set of action.
Alright, so, as y'all can see here, this is the command portion of this drone system. So, first off, it's gonna keep talking for a second. So first off, I wanna tell y'all thank you because y'all absolutely support the heck out of us. And it makes a difference. I tell everybody all the time, if I still policed in Rossville, I wouldn't be doing it. But having the support of y'all and our community makes all the difference in the world. Originally, we were going to do this presentation on a night other than when we were going to ask for vehicles because, you know, Tommy's a pretty brilliant guy and he coming and giving y'all presentations about from DeKalb County Sheriff's Office in Alabama. They purchased one through a grant that they found. Came over, suggested to us that we get a grant to get us one. They showed it to us and I fell in love with it. The sheriff fell in love with it. Everybody fell in love with it. We wanted one really bad. And then we got the price tag. The setup that you see up here cost around $23,000. So we tried to look for grants and unfortunately Georgia has nowhere near the grants and they don't even offer, the federal government don't even offer grants for this type of equipment through DJI. So we had pretty much thought, well, we're not gonna be able to do this. And it just so happens one of our guys who's no longer with us, he works for the city now, but he ended up doing a traffic stop on I-59 that resulted in about $25,000 that was forfeited from a suspected human trafficker, drug trafficker. So we ended up coming into this money. So all of this that you see up here, while the price tag was $23,000, it was not purchased with Dade County taxpayer money. It was purchased from somebody who was up to no good. You know, and we thank him every day for his contribution. So, you want to flip it for me, Alex? And that's our cool little patch up there. We have a Dade County Sheriff's Office drone unit patch that we have, and I'll get into it a little bit more about who's on that unit here in just a minute. So the one that you see here, this is a DJI Matrice M30T. The T stands for thermal. It is one of the top of the line drone units used in public safety, military, things of that nature. It has, not only does it have all different types of views, but it also has an IR function. And you can see on the camera here that I can look for people through infrared. And you'll see a video here in just a minute of me actually using it in the field for finding a suspect that had fled from police and caused a crash and a whole bunch of damage and things. It's got 3 different types of cameras, wide, zoom, and infrared. They are considered rugged. And I'll show you another picture here in a minute. I've actually been in an absolute downpour flying this thing. I was flying for the U.S. Marshals on that particular op. We were serving an arrest warrant, and it was absolutely pouring down rain. Now, while the drone, the controller, and I'll show you this here, the controller, while that is somewhat water resistant, waterproof, you can fly it in all type of weather and things. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What you see, the command box here is not waterproof. This is a TV, you know, this is a battery box that I've got in here as well as some other equipment, things if I need to do. So the drone itself and me, luckily I'm a little bit waterproof because I was soaking wet during that op. It's got all kind of obstacle avoidance. It's got public safety, specific things that go into the drone. and I'm gonna get into that in just a minute, with some of the option things that we've done. Which button is it, Gary?
It's on.
changed.
Just hold it.
Oh, it's a microphone, that's not a clicker? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so, the DJI Avata 2, that is, what we call a recon drone, that's the small one. It came with the drone. We had actually worked it out to where the big drone itself was coming by itself, but we finagled with them so long that they threw in the DJI Avata 2 drone, which is a recon drone. What we do with that is we have not got to use it out in the field yet because we haven't had a situation that warranted it, but what would be for that if somebody barricaded themselves in a house and we wanted to fly in to see if they had a gun, what they were doing. You know, they've used these things with people who have said they're gonna kill themselves or kill law enforcement, and then they'll hear a gunshot not knowing if they're aiming at law enforcement or if they've killed themselves, and they'll fly in and find either that they're deceased or that they're not. So it's a thing that we can use instead of sending live bodies into a house. We can send this into the house, and if somebody shoots it out of there, I think it's $1,000, couple $1,000 to replace that small drone itself. It's got something called turtle mode, which I think is pretty cool. I wish I could demonstrate that for you. It will, if I'm flying to a house and I hit something and it falls on the ground upside down, I can hit a button, it'll zoom and flip itself back over and launch right up and go on about its business. It has a lighting package on it where I can just about light up an entire room with it if I need to. You know, click that for me, Alex. All right, so you see that handsome looking man on the screen there. Due to his size, you can probably guess who he is. One of the reasons that that Tommy asked y'all for the truck for this is because of this situation here. I'm standing on the side of that's on I-24. And when I do the ops on this thing, I have to pull this out of the back of my Explorer, which is absolutely slap full. It's too full for what it's made for. I have to pull that out, set it on the hood. I'm outside in the elements, you know, whether it's hot or raining, there I am. With the F-150, I'll be able to operate it from the rear and have a cover over me via the camper, and it'll be mounted in the back of it with the tray. So since March of 24, that's when we actually had delivery on the thing. Actually, January is when we had delivery, and I'll get into a little bit more in just a second as to what it takes to actually fly. Law enforcement can't just get a drone and then launch it and, hey, well, we've got a drone now. You have to go through FAA requirements, you have to go through licensing, all that kind of stuff. So since March is when we actually got it in the air. We've had 6 flights for fleeing suspects, whether they flee from a crash, flee from a law enforcement, flee from any situation where they flee. 4 ops for missing or endangered people. I actually went to Chattooga County and located a man who has dementia that wandered away from his house. I found him in the woods. He had wandered probably at that point. They had been looking for him for about an hour and a half and was unable to locate him. I got down there and had him located within about 15 minutes with the drone. It was very hot that day, you know, and he was out there and he had to go to the hospital, but he is fine. I've done 1 reconnaissance flight, 1 support, which is now up because I've done some since I made this PowerPoint. 1 support flight for an arrest warrant operation and 1 support flight for a search warrant operation. So far, I've had 5 apprehensions with the drone, meaning that we've caught 5 bad guys with it. Actually, we've caught 4 bad guys and located the guy with dementia out of Chattooga. So far, we've assisted Marion County Sheriff's Office. We've assisted we've been in Walker flying for the Lookout Mountain Task Force. We've also been in Jackson flying for the Lookout Mountain Task Force. We've assisted Chattooga County Sheriff's Office twice, South Pittsburgh Police Department once, and the task force several times, and the U.S. Marshal Service once. Luckily, you know, this isn't something that a lot of agencies have around here, so the sheriff is very willing to lend our assistance to these other agencies to get us to come out and help. And you know, they know that Dade County Sheriff's Office does a good job, so they call us. You know, and they tell us, when I get there and find somebody, they tell us, hey, we're going to use you as much as we can. Click it. All right. So this, what you see up here, we bought a program called Benchmark Analytics. We do our use of force. We do a lot of stuff on this. We have a drone log. You see, it's hard to see, but on the right side is our drone log. That's actually from one of my deployments where a guy fled the crash. It's going to be the video that you see here in a minute. But the documentation that you see is what helps us to comply with FAA regulations. The FAA requires that I give them I'm gonna have to turn that off because it's dying. But the FAA requires that we document every flight because we work under something called a certificate of authority that they issue us. So when I do a deployment, I come back and I do this report so I can print them off and do my monthly reports to the FAA. It's also in compliance with federal Part 107 regulations, and we use it for statistical data and interdepartmental use. So click it for me. So a certificate of authority is issued by the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, and it's essentially what it does is it allows public safety, law enforcement, EMS, fire, things of that nature. It allows us to operate without having to have everybody a drone license per se. They give us the authority to say, hey, if you train to the license standard of Part 107, then you can, as long as you maintain all these reports and everything that you're supposed to do, you can have this certificate of authority. It's only issued to public safety. The FAA Part 107 is what somebody who wants to fly commercially gets. If they want to go fly for banks, if they want to go fly to take pictures of properties or survey or roofing or anything like that, they have to have a FAA Part 107. So the sheriff's office got myself and one other person. We are certified Part 107. We have an unmanned aerial vehicle license through the FAA, and we also have the COA. So we work under two different blankets of authority when it comes to being able to fly. So if someday Don called me and said, hey, we're having this event, can you come provide, some pictures for us or something of that nature, under Part 107, I can do that. I can't do it under the COA, but I can under Part 107. But when it comes to flying for emergency operations, we fly under the COA. So certified is myself. I am Part 107 certified. I'm also the one who authored the COA. That is a very lengthy process. It's why it took us 2 months to get it. I'm the trainer designated by the COA, meaning that I can certify, say, you see Chip over here, he's one of my visual observers, but he wants to get into flying the drone. So I can train him and he can fly under my license without having to get his own license as long as I train him to the Part 107 standard. And that's part of the COA. I'm also kind of over the drone program. Charlie Carver is the other, he's the SRO at Davis. He's the other FAA certified Part 107 pilot. And I have 3 visual observers that help me on a very regular basis. I have to have a visual observer by FAA requirements every time I fly. That's been Sergeant Chip Getty on many occasions, Corporal Eric Hartline on 2, and Commander Casey York, every DTF op I do with him, he's my visual observer because he's always with me. All right, click it for me. This should be the video. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit. This video is like 3 or 4 minutes long, if they can get it going. Oh, I thought about it for a second.
Maybe not.
You working, Alex?
For some of these people here, Aaron.
Do I?
Can you introduce some of the people that are?
Yeah. Back over here.
And the closer you stand to a mic, the better people will be able to hear you online.
How about I just carry it with me? Can I carry it with me?
There you go.
You're on now.
All right. Okay. All right. So what you see here, and I'll introduce him just in a second, Mr. Lowry. So what you see here is this is an op I did for South Pittsburgh PD. It was a pursuit that they had come into Marion County. And what you see on the screen here is infrared, obviously, and this is the Tennessee River. This is the suspect laying here, and these are 2 officers that are trying to locate him. They cannot see him at all where they're standing. This is pitch dark, black of night, and you can see this is the spotlight on the camera. I'm flying approximately 200 feet up in the air, and I could zoom in enough to see him dialing numbers on his cell phone. That's him laying there, trying to hide. He's laying down an embankment from where the officers are. And you'll see that in a moment, once we get to that point, you'll see in a moment, they do not see him until they get right over top of him. But the whole time they are, I've swapped back to thermal. The whole time they are over him looking for him, they can't see him, but I can tell them, hey, I'm looking at him. He doesn't have a gun in his hand. He doesn't have, which increases his safety as well as the officer's safety. And that's what it's all about. You can see the 2 officers, that is a very large embankment that they're trying to decide if they're going to go down it or not. I am on the speaker that you see on top of this telling this guy, hey, stand up, walk up, you're caught, it's time to give yourself up, we're going to get you, come to us. He would not listen, but I can be about 500 to 600 foot in the air, and you can still hear that speaker just plain as day. And a funny thing, before they get to where they apprehend him, I was over in Lafayette. A guy had escaped custody in Lafayette, and we were looking for him, and I found him, and troopers were getting him into custody, and I was about 200 foot in the air playing the Bad Boys theme song as they were taking him into custody. Everybody thought it was great. It was a good morale boost for the officers. You'll see the foot of the officer come into frame there, and again, they do not see this guy, and I cut the video right after they tase him, so you can't really see, but they still do not see him. They still have no idea. All I can say is, hey, my spotlight's on him, keep walking forward. And you'll see the moment they lay out right there is when they first saw him. They put the taser on him, that's him getting tased. And after this, I stayed with him. I cut the video to save time, but after this, I stayed with them until they got the guy all the way back up the embankment, providing them with light. They said they didn't even have to use their flashlights because the light I provided them while they were doing that. You want to click that for me? All right, so again, thank you so much for everything that you do for us. It means a lot. It means a lot to everybody in the department. You know, when y'all support us, everybody knows that. Y'all have any questions?
Introduce your guys. We appreciate y'all when you're
Yeah,
taking
so
care.
the Sergeant Chip Getty, I was telling that was one of my visual observers. That's him sitting right there. That's his wife, Lieutenant Getty, who's our training coordinator. But yeah, and of course, y'all know Matt Cole and Joe Chambers and Tommy standing back here. We're all a big team, as y'all know, and that team doesn't just include us, it includes y'all too. And again, thank you. If anybody didn't have any questions, that's all I got.
Thank you for what you do for us and our
Pretty
family.
impressive.
That's really awesome.
Well, I know that was longer than I wanted it to be. I know y'all ready to go, but thank you
No,
for giving me the
I
time.
appreciate you guys coming.
Thank y'all.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Oh, we have something.
All righty, we got,
I think we're back up.
Oh, hey, one more thing. So the truck, we had to retrofit my Explorer after we got this drone. And I have a battery box that sits in the back that charges 8 batteries plus about 7 batteries. And I'm constantly having to struggle with the car being able to keep up with this. So it's faulting out all the time because it was retrofitted. With this new, it's got a 240 amp alternator. We looked at going with a cheaper F-150 that was just a fleet vehicle, but the alternator was like 110 amps as opposed to the 240 amps. And so that's another reason that we went with that instead of the cheaper version. But I wanted to let y'all know that.
Yeah.
thank you, Chad. All right, go to number 9. We have the proposed agreement for the occupants of the historic courthouse and museum.
So what this is, there's 2 different agreements. One's a rental agreement, one's a lease agreement. Rental is more for, like someone we may have wanted to use the senior center in the past. It's just a temporary rental type agreement. You usually rent the space upstairs, possibly, I guess if somebody's gonna rent the conference room for a week or something, but typically this is just a 24-hour type event. And sometimes even much less than that in case they're set up though. The other is a lease agreement. That's for tenants, and so far we've talked to, or people who've inquired about this has been the Alliance for Dade, having a space. We've also talked to them about the Welcome Center, what we've always known as the Welcome Center. Now, Robin currently rents to them, but no hard feelings. He's okay with this too. We didn't want to cut him out, but it works for him too. And then down the hall is economic development, which would include the Industrial Development Authority, as well as if the city wants to use it for Downtown Development Authority when they get their folks up and running. And in there is a vault, one of the old note vaults. Economic development currently is being housed over at Evan Stone's place, his personal residence. But, that's great for him, but that may not be the solution, of course, for whoever the next person is in the future. And I know from history, when Johnny Bradford was on the board of the IDA years ago, he kept records at the bank, there were records up here, there were so we're hoping to get all those records pulled back together and centralized in one place. And then across the hall from that is the Trenton-Dade County Trenton-Dade County Historical Preservation Commission, as well as sharing some space with the Dade County Historical Society. And in that vault, that has a vault as well, which we would like to use for archives, an extension of the county library. They do have quite a bit of resources over there, but their collection it's huge. And so they would welcome the opportunity to put some of the more, Dade County historical records in that vault. One, for protection. It would be a much higher fire rating than it is at the library. But overall, we're just talking tonight about the lease agreements. We've taken these to different groups, to this commission, to the Historic Preservation Commission, had several suggestions, revisions, and that's where we are.
So we need to, if you haven't looked that over, I know they had a copy in our box, and I seen one little nitpicky thing. It goes into putting up staples and thumbtacks and all that.
Yeah.
Then it goes on them itching and take it off tape. I have seen tape do as much damage to a drywall as a thumbtack or anything else, so that might just be something we
can fix
we look at if they're gonna put anything on it. They do make stuff, it'll come off, that DuPont stuff, but anyway, that's,
I don't know about that.
it can pull it off.
We don't really want anybody sticking anything on the wall,
No, it'd be better not to have,
you know.
because we're spending too much money to make it look great.
That's
and-
right.
yeah.
That's right.
All right, anybody got any more questions on that? Okay.
So have we discussed any of the dollar amounts on what we're gonna rent it for?
No, and I think, the Historic Preservation Commission and Historical Society, the Historical Society at one time did have a building, and they no longer have a building, but they also have they pre-funded all the windows that went in. Now, from that, people have since then purchased those windows, and that's what allowed most people to get a tax deduction for those windows. We couldn't give that to them per se, but they could because they're a 501c3. They've been working with us on other other programs and such, and so we'd like to, we really don't have anywhere else to put those kind of records. The economic development has agreed. I know the IDA has agreed. Maybe you were in that meeting. I wasn't, but this was about 3 or 4 months ago, I understand, to pay rent on that one office. I'm sure there's been enough room for them to actually have meetings in that room, but there'll be a conference room upstairs, which I would imagine they would want to take advantage of. And then the south side of the building being the chamber / welcome center. We've talked about, I think it's not here, but it's $1,000 or it was $1,200 a month. And that's pretty much to help offset power bills, water
space
bills.
or for all?
That at the time was for all. That was for 2 offices. And so, if you divide that space based on what the economic development would be, it really does come out about right. It's not, in fact, it may be a little higher than what economic development's looked at contributing per month. Part of the 51B legislation that we got passed through the legislature, the General Assembly back in, I think it was 2018, was to make that the hub for economic development, tourism, and such. And as such, you can use hotel motel monies, because that's the purpose of that facility. So, but we still think it's wise to get, these different groups to throw a little skin in the game, and plus, I think they're also gonna be doing other things for us. We're already in an agreement with the chamber, or the Alliance for Dade, to do a lot of different services for Dade County, which covers tourism, but they will also kind of be the guardians of the building, because, you know, someone has to open it every day, lock it every day, and schedule any groups or rental folks that come through, and make sure that it's cleaned properly in order to get a deposit back. So again, it was about it was either 1,000 or 1,200, and that's not been signed, and that we can discuss that even further when they submit their lease agreement. Because I think it would be, I talked to Robin about this earlier, we think it would be wise for the commission to, oh, there's an ad after me, to bring those back to the commission to approve, this board. So, yeah.
So
Now, rental agreement, you wouldn't. I mean, that's lots of groups, you know.
yeah, so the rental, I guess it would be the same as like renting the,
It would. I think we listed in there,
so that.
It was 150.
That money goes
150,
to general?
it does. And it's just to help offset utilities,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. And cleaning,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, it'll be a big change when it gets going, but I know you and myself, you and Robin have talked about it a little bit, that everybody does have to know that that building is under the ownership of the setting governmental authority.
Yes, always.
If something, God forbid, should happen down here, that may be our courtroom again someday, and we hope that never does happen, but it does have to
Hope
stay
not either, 'cause the fire
under
marshal
whoever's
won't
sitting
allow
in
that.
these 5 seats up here.
If that were to happen, you have to realize the fire marshal's already stated, there's a certain number,
Yeah,
maximum
they may,
number,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
can occupy the top floor.
But it's just, you know, just so nobody assumes that we
Understand
have
what you're saying.
ownership of any part of that
That's correct.
building. It's strictly a lease or rent, whatever.
That's correct.
Any other comments on that? We'll go to the elections building construction project.
Is that on the consent agenda for both? It's just really approving the agreements as presented.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
And what we can say here, I guess, and I know Billy's back here, they've done a lot of the work that's been done, as well as a contractor to move the dirt. The basement that we talked about putting in has been dug. There's gravel down there now to spread to be ready to put that concrete down at some point. So there will be a full basement under that 100 by 60 building when it's all said and done. And anybody can go by there and look at it. You can see what we're talking about. To the east end of it has been gravelled, where we talked about maybe a farmer's market being there. And as Billy said the other day on Evans' program, the county program portion of that, if we have people have to come in like Georgia Power and those people, if we have other storms and they need a staging place, then we'll have that for them as well. But it's coming along. I don't know if we've, Ted not being here, I don't know if we've got the final plans back on it yet or not, so. Then the next item, number 11, is just a little update on the depot. And somebody want to know now, bear in mind when that burned, the insurance company did pay off, and they paid off quickly, but the money, and correct me if I'm wrong, Don, the money that was paid is somewhere in the neighborhood of $80,000.
No.
In 79, okay. That would have maybe put it back to what it was the day before it burned. That was not to do everything that we've kind of found out. We had to come up with a place. We didn't have to do it there, but we had to come up with a place for our indigent defense, or whatever they call themselves now, and put them in it. And we're also going to put, I think, Mr. Bonico, stick him down there and get him out of the way someday. So we had to come up with something for them, and that means running wires for computers, a whole lot of stuff that we never thought about, bathrooms, you name it, making it handicap accessible, ADA compliant. So the total on it is somewhere in the neighborhood that has been spent or will be spent is $285,545 if everything's been turned in, and that then, of course, you take off the 79,000 for the insurance that we got. We do have a piece of property now or a building that we're gonna be hopefully selling, and, that will go toward to recoup some of the money for this as well. And that is where the indigent defense now is, am I correct? So that is our building, and so that will be going on, is my understanding, will be going on the block to be sold. And if anybody knows any more than that, then,
No, there was a bill that came in, it got paid this week, last week?
It is in there.
Yeah, okay, right, so,
all right.
I'd quoted an amount to the Sentinel, but
That was after, the bill came in after.
yeah, right.
Number 12, we've
Next to the last
tabled this for a couple of months, but Philip, we'll let you look at that subdivision essential services ordinance.
So what we done is, we tried to make this as simple as we could, and the reason being is, it's not if, but when this is gonna come up as an issue, is where people are building houses, gravity flowing them down into one tank, and then tying onto our affluent sewer system. So, it's like I've had 2 calls this week on subdivisions where they said, hey, we're in a subdivision, there's HOAs, but they're not keeping it up. Who's responsible for the road and stuff? So this issue's gonna come up down the road for us. They're gonna say, hey, our sewer doesn't work, but we don't own it. So what we've done is just any resident or other structure on a subdivided lot connecting to public effluent sewer lines shall have its own tank, pump, and alarm. So that's the only changes we've done to our subdivision ordinance is that one particular line, to where if you're building houses to sell to individuals, that house has to have its own tank, pump, and alarm to tie on to our county city sewer.
That's basically, so one pump don't go down, one tank pump goes down, and you
But
may
it
have
keeps-
6 houses on
But
it.
it's gonna keep, where you run 5 or 6, 7 houses on the one tank pump, it goes out, now 6 houses, their sewer's
Over
not
that.
working. And then when they figure out, they all gotta pitch in to fix it, one's gonna say, I didn't tear it up, you did, then they're gonna come to us and say, hey, my sewer doesn't work, when we didn't put it in, and so this alleviates that issue with doing that.
Anybody got any questions? I know we put it off a couple of months, but that's a very good idea, because you got people taking care of themselves, and,
Really, basically, if you got 5 houses on one and the pumps go out, then all 5 houses are out.
right.
And it does happen.
Yes.
Yeah. And as Philip said, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when that happens, and
And then they're gonna be
people
up
go
here
screaming,
asking us
what
why
about
their
us?
sewer
Right.
doesn't work.
Yeah. All right, everybody in favor of that change, then, we'll put it on the consent agenda.
That'll be a first reading, I think.
Oh, okay, so we'll have that be on next month then. All right, number 13, disposal of surplus county property. Don, what do we got?
All right. I know there was some things discussed tonight, but that'll be on a future, a time for us to look at. This is for a disposal of, let's see, what do we got here?
Cushman Holler, 1,200.
Yeah, the old Cushman golf cart down at the Parks and Rec. It's a 2012 Cushman, and don't know really how many hours is on it, but anyway, it's not the best of shape, but we're gonna put that on there. And then the Department of Public Transportation's got a 10-passenger van with wheelchair lift. We had bought that years ago. After the useful life is up, as far as insurance requirements go, Georgia Department of Transportation allows the county to purchase a van. We did purchase the van back then after, I don't know, 3 to 5 years of age, and then ultimately used it for several more thousand miles, I'll put it that way. And so now we've replaced that one with another less old one. Okay, so GDOT has allowed us to purchase one that we've just recently turned in. And so we're gonna get rid of this one, and you'll probably be surprised at what you'll get.
Yeah. So those would be going on gov deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also we didn't have to, this is just for information, but we also put the Yeah, that Chevrolet truck that was previously bid on, but it had a rebuilt title. And because it had a rebuilt title, the buyer backed out, and which is fine. So that's also back out there. Just be aware of that. If you see 3 items, that's what's going on. So it'll run for a couple of weeks.
All right, everybody, any questions? Doing consent agenda. Let's see, we've got, number 14 is resolution R-1724 FTA Title 6 update plan. That'll be done. You sent that thing down here, right?
I did. Here's Penny.
Miss Pennyworth. Get that.
Every 3 years, we have to update the Title VI. And it is the Civil Rights Act that says you cannot discriminate race, color, or national origin when you will receive federal assistance or federal funds of any type. And we are required to review that and have it renewed every 3 years. And that's what this is.
Okay.
Just updated.
So nothing changed in the writing or anything as far as you know? Okay.
No,
Sometimes they'll give us,
the census changes a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
right. If you look on the 3rd page of it, it's got they basically changed the table of contents a little bit, but overall, it rarely changes, but they give us the specific language always that has to change, so.
And the state's the one that,
GDOT. They're gonna require this every 3 years. We have a public transit.
that's a good.
Yeah. It's just their due diligence.
Yeah,
Have any
it's just
questions for Miss Penny while she's on
technicalities.
the hot seat?
No.
Oh, I see.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Consent agenda. Okay, we've got number 15, resolution R-1824 USD NRCS, a lot of letters associating conservation district. I guess that'd be you, Mr. Bonnico. So,
Well, he didn't,
Say anything, or you're just vote to keep me?
well,
oh, we got a choice?
Well, I heard I'm gonna get indoor plumbing and electricity over there in the building, so I don't
Imagine
know. I might
that.
wanna stick around.
Yeah.
Every 2 years, this comes back up. It's a renewal of a grant in partnership with Georgia Soil and Water Conservation. GACD, Georgia Soil, all the letters. Georgia Soil and Water Conservation District Support Organization. This is the part that funds the county contribution to the partnership that we have with Limestone Valley, which ends up making the full position. I'll say we've continued to grow the number of people that we've served. We've brought in more agricultural dollars over the last year. Last year I thought we did better than the year before. We did better than the year before. So every year we've had more applications and more individuals. For people listening at home, and I think most of the people in the room kind of know what I do, but it's better than sometimes I feel like I know. But we're helping out with Farm Bill dollars. When you hear about the Farm Bill negotiations, there's dollars associated with it for assistance to agricultural producers. Those dollars go out through a cooperative agreement, called a grant if you want to. But they're available to landowners, land managers, anybody out there in the community for things like, high tunnels, you might call it a hoop house, cover cropping, cross fence on cattle farms, watering troughs, things that are going to end up improving American production of food and fiber, timber management plans, you name it. If it's improving agricultural land, it's associated with the Farm Bill, and it's something that I end up either giving direction, advice, or directing them towards the expert within the USDA that can assist with that. We do have good support from biologists, foresters, with a partnership with Georgia Forestry, and that rolls through my office. We get the landowners hooked up with who they need to be hooked up with, and ultimately we've seen good tax dollars coming back to good taxpayers. I would much rather our dollars come back here to Dade County than go anywhere else. If we're gonna pay them to the federal government, we might as well get every nickel back we can. So, I tell people I'm kind of view myself as a coach, to coach them through the federal red tape and help bring those tax dollars home in every way we can, so.
Anybody got questions for Mr. Stevens?
Yeah, good
Good.
job.
I'm
Now,
good
what I
with it.
heard was you know what you do, everybody else knows what you're supposed to do. is what-
Oh, maybe, yeah. So,
All right,
well, thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Stephen.
Put that on the consent agenda, and last but not least, it's just for a schedule of millage rate meetings and hearings, Don.
So we have it is that time of the year, millage rate is upon us. And the school, you may have noticed, the school board have their stuff in the paper this week, and ours will be in there next week. The millage rate schedule is listed there. We'll be looking at August the 15th, 11 a.m. in this room for our first public hearing, at 6 p.m. For the second public hearing, and then Thursday, August 22nd at 4 p.m. For the third public hearing, and 4:30 p.m. for the special call meeting to consider adoption of the final millage rate for the maintenance and operation of Dade County. Also, at that same meeting, the school board will approach the governing authority for authorization to collect their tax for allow the tax, not superintendent, the commissioner to collect their school board's millage rate tax. So that's the schedule right now. The 5-year history is out there, and yeah.
All right. And that will be in the paper and.
Oh, yeah.
And on the county website as well.
It will.
All right. Anybody got
This
anything?
also serves as notice to the public for that special call meeting on the 22nd at 4:30.
All right, that concludes our agenda. Does anybody have any questions, any more comments before we go into our regular commission meeting? Hearing none, we will adjourn this, take just a few minutes and move our stuff over and run, get a drink, whatever you need to do, and we'll start our
doing on this, but we will get started. This is the regular scheduled meeting of the Dade County Commission. This time, I'm going to ask our now county clerk, still county clerk, soon to not be county clerk, Don Townsend, to lead us in prayer, and then after that, General Wood to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
May we pray? Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we're so thankful for this day that you've made for us. We're thankful, Father, for those who have assembled here, and pray, Lord, that you would watch over each and every home represented. We pray for the families this month who have lost loved ones in our community, and we ask, Lord, that you would just be with them at this time. Be with those who are sick and suffering, those in the hospitals, the nursing homes, wherever they may be. That, Lord, that you just watch over and protect them. Be with their caregivers and help them, Lord, at this time. We're thankful, Father, for our country. We're thankful, Father, for the right to vote, and we're thankful, Father, for our flag and what it represents and the freedoms that is afforded to us through our efforts through the military and such. And we pray that you'd keep each and every soldier out there, domestic and foreign, safe, and watch over and protect them. We ask now that you be with our legislative body here, that you would help them, guide them with their decisions to the best ability that they have, and that they would make the right decisions for our community. And we ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Stand, face the flag, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, General Wood. Don? This is the regular scheduled meeting of the Dade County Board of Commissioners, which takes place at the same time on the first Thursday of every month. Proper notice of this meeting was given in the legal order in Dade County. It's been posted in the hallway in the administrative building. This time, I'll need a roll call. Mr. Lowry? Here. Mr. Hartline?
Here.
I am here, Mr. Goff, and Ms. Bradford?
Here.
Our chair is absent tonight. As we said earlier, Diane, his wife, had a hip replacement, and she had to go back to the doctor. He's having some stuff going on with it. I don't think anything serious, but anyway, he was hoping to be back before we finished our other meeting, but he didn't make it. So, okay, so we have a quorum. We can go ahead with our business now, and I need to find my agenda. All right. So we'll go to citizens' participation. I found it, Don, thank you. Anybody wants to come up and have anything to say? You got about 5 minutes to. All right. No one wanting to speak to it, then we will go right into our county commissioners' district reports, and we'll begin with Mr. Lowry.
Okay, I'll give the E911 reports. We had 238 EMS calls. We had 458 fire department calls. And we had 2,996 police. That's up a good bit this month. So for a total of 3,692 calls. We also had 12 new E911 addresses delivered. I got some really good news to deliver tonight. We've been talking about the internet in Wildwood for months. And the Trenton Telephone Company has done everything they can do. And I want to thank Adam Austin personally. And in the next 2 weeks, they're going to be taking applications and getting that. So people actually start, by the next meeting, people should actually have internet in their homes. So big announcement takes the load off me, and just thankful for that. A lot of people that, if you have it, you don't realize, the old saying, if you don't miss it unless you don't have it. But it's appreciated, and everything Trenton Telephone Company did, and keeping me informed, and even through the bad times. So, thank you, Adam Austin, if you're listening tonight. I'm done.
Did it? All right, Mr. Hartline.
So at the sports complex, they're practicing fall baseball. They're gonna start playing sometime this month. Football started practice, and soccer's gonna start sometime this month as well. And Tank and his crew, they've been working on, they were the ones that removed the shrubs from down at the senior building. They've been working on the flower beds, working on trying to get that ready. As far as the other, I didn't get on the report on what electrical permits and stuff we've got this month. I've missed that. But I know he was been doing some, because I talked to him the other day and he had to go do 5 in one day. So I still know that they're coming in. And that's all I have for this month.
Thank you, Bill. Ms. Bradford?
Yeah, I don't have much, not much updates or anything like that, but I do have some good news. We're kind of discussing right now, nothing is final, and I'll say that again, nothing is final, but we are discussing, hopefully somebody that's willing to come and pick up glass and also computer parts and stuff like that. And it'll probably definitely be a certain type of glass, but and there may be a charge to that, but we've got to work all that out. We have to make some meetings, and so it will hopefully be in the future coming. So I feel like that's really, really good news.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're people of few words, this man. I usually just report on. I am glad to say Splashed is the most it's been since August, I think, of last year, when we had the whatever it was that happened where we got some extra money. It came in at $350,810. The reason I do that every month is our clerk will be reading in a minute all the money that we spent tonight, and you see how important that is with everything that's going on with the generators, the senior citizens building, all the things that we do, and a lot of it would be the money. We would still have to do it. If Billy's gonna work on roads, we still gotta have trucks. We still gotta have tractors and all that. Not just employees, because you gotta have something from to work with, and we would still have to have all of it. So Splash coming in like that is a great thing. Would like to say I've been out of pocket a little bit this month myself, because I went to Houston, Texas again with Georgia Baptist Disaster Relief. Never seen such a wet ground in my life. They actually cut us short 2 days because of so much rain. Skid steers was just sitting out there and miring up by themselves just about without anything turning. So we finally come home. They are starting to send people back. I won't be going back myself. That's a pretty long trip, about a 12 to 14 hour drive out there. But pray for those people, because they've been through it for the last few months. This was in Houston and the surrounding area, and it's from Hurricane Beryl, whatever. So that's where I've been. I won't dare to give a report for Ted tonight. I'm in that office a lot of times, and the phone rings, and it's about anything and everything. If you're here, you know that. It's about potholes. It's about we need this. It's about when are we going to do that. And it's continuous. And then he has to deal with a lot of times with EPA, he has to deal with EPD, he has to deal with ongoing things that are going on in our county and everything. So my hat's off to him. He's not here tonight to give his own report, and again, I wouldn't dare do that. We've already reported as good as I can on the ongoing with the old depot. That's about finished, and also Cole has reported on what's going on in the middle of the road out here, and that's winding down. And also, we're beginning to work on the elections building. Somebody asked me the other day when it'll be finished. Well, we got to start it first. So I guess we have started in that there's a big hole in Dade County down there to start it with, but that's the beginning of everything. So I thank the people of Dade County and the people that pass through, the people that spend money in Dade County, because people that order from Amazon and all these other things, because the state a few years ago made that start being taxed and remitted back to the counties. And that's a lot of our tax money, and then the hotel motel tax for advertisement, for our Chamber of Commerce and so on. There's just a lot to run in a county, and it's no one person, it's no 5 people. As Chad said, they were brothers and sisters there. They're a team in that sheriff's office. We've seen how they're a team with Walker County, with Chattooga County, with even the Tennessee counties and all that. How much it takes to do what gets done, and my hat's off to them, but most of all to the citizens that understand and the citizens that call Dade County home, because it's a great place to be. So anybody got anything else to add? You may do.
I just want to say that I'm really excited that the internet is coming for Lamar, and I know how much time he's put into, you know, making sure that was getting done, and I'm excited. That is awesome. I can't imagine not having internet, so I know that's got to be exciting for a lot of folks.
It is, and of course Lamar's got to go buy a TV now.
Yeah.
All right, but
Went from colored to not colored to.
yeah, they got colored TVs now.
Yeah.
And you can have one of these laptops at your house.
And you don't have to get up and go turn it on.
We're picking on
Stay
you,
out, go
Lamar.
outside and turn in the whole antenna.
No, you don't have, to the left, Kathy, to the left. All right, no, that is a good thing, because as you said, you're absolutely right, Lamar. If we have it, we don't know what we've got until it goes out for a little while. And me and my wife sitting there, your internet working? No, just went out. Well, we got to see what's wrong with it. We got to go down and check the box. It is just something, it's one of the best things we have, and in some ways, one of the worst things we have. But I thank the good Lord for it, and I hope you get it, everything finished and do well. We'll go to our appearances tonight, and we were supposed to have, I think, in person, Miss Lydia Saucy, from the manager, our new manager of the Dade County Public Library. She's not here. Laura Beth, did you have?
It was supposed to be me.
Oh, so they put it in the shame on say I didn't do that. They've got you as an online and her as the.
Yeah, they do on yours, but on the computer it's right.
Okay.
It's okay.
I think they were going to introduce her or something though, but.
Well, she got interviewed, yeah, and I think Mindy.
Mindy's last day was yesterday, so.
Yeah, Mindy retired yesterday.
We did that last month.
Yeah, she was here last month.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
we've been busy, at our office. Like, Carrie already mentioned that I might need to wake up. I think she went and turned the air up, and that's why it's so cold in here, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired. But you can switch it. So we did a forensics camp this month. That's not something that UGA usually does or wants us really to do, but that's what my background's in and that's what I'm interested in. So I did it, and I think it went over really well and everybody loved it. I got help from the GBI and the Dade County Sheriff's Department. The GBI came in for a whole day and showed them all kinds of really cool stuff, and the kids really enjoyed it. On the last day, everything that I had taught them and the GBI had taught them, we put that to doing like case studies and solving crimes, and we autopsied some pickles, but it was a good time, and I'm totally going to do it next year, and hopefully we'll have more kids interested in it. Then we did a bunch of hikes this month, but we went on July 11th I usually try to pick a region to go to. I went to like DeSoto and Little River last year, and then this year we've gone to Tracy City and Monteagle to hike. But South Cumberland State Park has like a ton of trails up there, so we did 3 or 4 of those, but I recommend anybody go up there. This one, we went to, I think this one is called, it's a loop trail, but it's about 2 miles, and then I took them to Grundy Lake to swim because they always like to get wet. I started something with the library and with State Farm. They have an ag book of the month, and they purchased that book for me, and then I'm going to the library and reading it to preschoolers and kids who haven't started to school yet. So they do the ready to read. So then I come in the afternoons once a month and read an ag book, and we do a craft. So we're going to start doing that every month. The homeschoolers this year, we learned about dirt and soil formations. And then on the next slide, there's pictures of them. I'm sure everybody remembers when they were a kid making the dirt cake. So I guess they don't do that anymore, but we did it and they enjoyed it, and I think they'll go home and make dirt cake too. We went ziplining this year. That was something new for me. I'm very scared of heights, and I don't like to go more than 3 rungs high on a ladder. And I thought, yeah, I'll take the kids ziplining and I'll watch them and take pictures. And they told me that I had to do it. So that was not my favorite day, but they had a good time. Thankfully, we were only about 40 feet off of the ground, but they all made fun of me because I went last and I wouldn't jump, and they're down at the bottom laughing. So yeah, they had a good time with that. Then we went to Little River Canyon, where they do different kinds of educational programs, and we did something called a stream stomp, where they gathered bugs and stuff out of the stream. They taught us about black bears, and then we also did like a forestry lesson. And then on Tuesday, we went to Raccoon Mountain Caverns. I remember going through the caverns when I was a kid, and none of these kids had never even been there. So we went through the caverns, did the tour, and they went gem mining. And it's just one of those things. We have a lot of stuff that's so close to us, and I'm not sure everybody realizes that. So Raccoon Mountain is still there. They still do a tour, and it's still fun. And then yesterday, we closed out the summer with very challenging trail that I'm going to say I wasn't ready for. Online it says it's about 3.7 miles, and it was about 5 miles, and it's very down. It goes to a cave with a stream coming out of it, and we were rock climbing to get out of there, and I am very sore, so if I'm walking funny, that is why. But it was one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. So I highly recommend to go do this trail if you can do it at all. The cave is massive. You just walk up on it. It's out of nowhere, and there's water just gushing out of it. So really good trail up on Mount Eagle Mountain. So Monday, August 9th will be our monthly Tri-State Beekeepers Association meeting at the Ag Center. We didn't get a topic on it yet, and then Tri-State Cattlemen's will be on the 20th. And it will be at the Dade County Ag Center. And if you would like to purchase the meal, just call the Friday before, and we'll get you in. And that's all I have.
So you're ready for bungee jumping now?
No. And I will never zip line again either.
You got your feet wet, broke ice, about 2,000-foot bungee jumping.
Absolutely not. So if anybody wants to volunteer to take kids ziplining next year, have at it, but that's not going to be me.
And I guess y'all were on the Fiery Gizzard Trail out in Tracy.
One of them, yeah, we did that one.
I was out there for years in that area delivering, and that was always
there's
the Fiery Gizzard.
There's Sycamore Trail, there's Lone Star Trail. There's so many up in Tracy City. Like, I was amazed when I started looking for hikes. But
thank you very much. All right, we do have online presentation then, I guess, from Lydia Sousey from the library, and also from Sandy White with the Alliance for Dade Chamber of Commerce, since they had the mix-up. Okay. Now.
Bug.
Oh, that thing follows. We got one gnat in here, and nobody's been able to kill it. All right. All right, we go to our fiscal matters now, and our monthly financial reports. We'll ask our county clerk or deputy clerk one to read those for us.
All right, so as of, not December, it's July, July 31st, 2024. And that seems so long ago, by the way. When we have a meeting on the 1st, y'all have to realize there's a whole lot went into last night till right now. That's why when we have it on the 7th, it's so much more convenient, but anyway. All right, July 31st, 2024, we had a balance of $340,060 in the general fund. I want to stop right there. That's really low. I'd be happy if that was $3 million, not $340,000. And we'll talk a little more about that just in a minute. 1.8 million in on certificate of deposits. So 2.14 on million as far as to overall, but a lot of that's investments. U.S. Treasury, Federal Asset Funds, 0. Sheriff's Special Fund, $2,586. Drug Abuse Education Fund, $15,179. Supplemental Juvenile Services Fund, $29,850. Victim Assistance Fund, $2,693. Jail Fund, $15,542. Federal Asset Funds, Department of Justice, 0. American Rescue Plan, $657,116. Stop. Let's talk about that. That's what we have in the bank, but we have already, 3 fire trucks outstanding on that. And now we have the generator that we're going to pay for out of that. So after you deduct that, that balance is really $77,000. All right? Just FYI. All right. Accommodations, hotel, motel tax is $278,026. Employees flexible spending account, $20,293, and payroll account, $318,120. I'll stop on that one because we just had payroll and the checks just haven't cleared. So don't think that we've got a whole lot of money left. When the payroll checks start clearing, that'll clear out too. 2015 SPLOST balance of $61,012, and 2021 SPLOST projects account has a balance of $50,363, and the proceeds account $3,225,604. Looking at the next report, this is a very important report, and we'll get an update on this report next month too. As you know, after June 30 in county government, we have to leave the books open for 60 days. They've only been open 31 days. So we've got another 30-day stretch here, 29 more days actually. And if you go to the bottom of this report, it's a little concerning. We can look at the month, but really it's the year end, but we'll go through the month. Month of June, revenues were $644,245,000. We've estimated or budgeted $1,160,315. That was short $516,069. Now, normally I wouldn't be concerned about that if that wasn't the last day of the month and the last day of a fiscal year. Budget-wise, our total budget all the way to the far right would be $14,684,000. And you see that's what matches to the budget column for year-to-date. We budgeted that, but we only brought in $14,321,564. Now, we brought in most monies, for the month. There's possibly some little bit of out there, but it's not going to be $362,000 shortage. That's only a collection of 97.53%. And so even, that doesn't sound like that big of difference, but that 2.5%, 3% there equates to $362,435. Back to the first page. That's why we only have $340,000 in the bank. And so when that happens, that's why in January, if y'all recall, we always pass the authorization for what's called a TAN, a tax anticipation note. Nobody wants to do a tax anticipation note, but some counties do it every year. Some school boards do it every year. Some other counties may have $54 million sitting in a bank somewhere, but we don't have $54 million sitting in a bank somewhere. So occasionally we do have to do that, and I can guarantee you we're going to have to do that, or we won't be able to make payroll.
We haven't done it.
That's not a scary thing. That's just a common thing that happens in county government.
We haven't done it yet.
We have not done it yet, but county attorney, I may need an opinion letter by tomorrow because we have payroll next week, and so, we're going to have to get that number up in order to accomplish that. And again, I say that it happens. It's seasonality. It's because your taxes all come in the end of the year typically, and that's paying all the bills for the upcoming year. Now, we don't typically do this, but I'd like to do it, and I know it's late, and I'm sorry, but it's important. So if you go up this column here on that income statement for the revenues, you'll see that just looking at the big ones, the tax commissioner, it says it's short 127,000. That doesn't mean she was short in her books 127,000. It just means we're off the budget by about 2%, and that 2% is what it equals about 127,000. So saying that was, if you go down deeper into her files and her reports, like we'll show on the very last page, you'll see that most of that is the current year's digest. Now, just because it's not collected as of today, as of June 30, she will collect on that for the next 5 years, but now it will be with interest and penalties. And it will also be considered prior year from today, well, actually from July 1st on, it will be considered prior year. So that's just a little information about that. So it is short as of 6/30, and that does matter. And we've already collected all we're going to collect from the tax commissioner. She's collected up through, when she gives us that check, it is what it is. So this is all we're going to probably get. That's going to be short. It's not going to fix, that was not going to fix itself. There are other items on here that may come in, but they're all going to be smaller amounts. And when I say smaller, I mean under 20,000, and there won't be many of them. Looking down the list, some of the bigger ones, you see the jail, it says it's short 86,000. It's because we budgeted $133,800. We anticipated having more inmates, mostly from Chattooga County. Now, it's not to throw a stone at Chattooga, they just didn't send as many inmates as that we thought they were going to send. And so we did not collect. If they're not here, then we can't send a bill to collect. There could be some money that's still left over. I don't know without checking with Joe, and he's already left, but we will do that. Sometimes they do send us surprisingly a big amount to shore up their books at the end of the year, and I'm not sure if that's happened. So some of that possibly may come back into it. Looking down, you see the other one is Public Works, says it's 222,000. Now Billy's about to have a heart attack back here because he don't like here short in his department. But he's not short. What happened is, over the last 4 or 5 years, we've been collecting a lot more under supplemental LMIG, Local Maintenance Improvement Grant. But we've had major projects like the slide over at Morganville Ridge Road. They built a wall, the one up here on the White Oak Gap. And when that happens, they give us a lot more money. Now, they don't just automatically give it to us. Ted and Billy and so-and-so, you sometimes go to Atlanta and bend their arm a little bit, and we end up getting some more money. And for the last few years, it's been a significant amount. So that's what happens sometimes with budgeting. It's not going to happen. That's not going to come in. So that's another one that's 222,000. That's not going to happen. So just to let you know that because we're $362,000 short, that causes a heartache in the bank. Now, there's no checks bouncing. Nobody needs to get excited about that. But we will need to do our tax anticipation note. And tax anticipation notes, the way they work, they have to be paid back at the end of the year. 100% has to be paid back before December 31st. And we have done it many times in the past. And in fact, every year I've been here, there's been a few years we didn't do it, but for the most part. And that gets back to setting your millage rate so that you take the growth. If you don't take the growth and you have a shortage, if we roll it back 100% every year, and I would love to do that. There's nobody in the room less. I'd love to do that. But when you don't, you will be short. I can guarantee you, and you ask any CFO in Georgia, you'll be short that year, and you will have to borrow, and you'll have to pay interest to a bank somewhere. It's just seasonality. Same thing in a farm, if you're a farmer, you know, you have crops, they come in, you sell them, and then you can pay off the bank. It happens every year. All right. There's a lot on that one. So we're gonna go to the next page, which is the expenses for the year. And that is a little bit better scenario. We have budgeted we spent $1,065,221. We budgeted to spend $1,145,779. We're under budget $80,000. Here's the good news. We've spent $14,075,521, but we budgeted $14,684,000. So we are under budget $608. Thank goodness we're under budget $608,478. That's right at 95.86% from 100%. Now, there are 29 more days to go in this budget, and we will experience a few more bills, but I don't know of anything out there that's major, okay? I mean, when I say major, I don't even know of anything that's $20,000 or more, to be honest with you, total, everything. So that's good. And so hopefully at the end of the day, when you wash those two figures together, you come up with around $246,000. And that hopefully will be the case so that we build a little bit of our fund balance, because that's important. That's the fund balance is what the auditors talk to us every February about, having about a third of whatever your budget is on an annual basis. You want to have that in your fund balance on reserve. And that's not to say cash, that's fund balance, that's accounting. So anyway, all right, there's a lot to go over there. Local option sales tax for the month of July was $280,648. Special purpose local option sales tax collected was $350,810. And you see the next report there. We have the SPLOST reports, the tracking worksheets for both 2021 and 2015. And getting on down to that final report, you see there's the tax commissioner's office, and you see the big $241,370 sitting at the top in red. That's where most of that shortage occurred. And again, that CY current year now becomes PY. And she will not only will she collect that probably at 100% within the next 5 years, and I'd say most of it, 80% probably come in within the next 2 years, because that's where she has sent out FIFAs, unfortunately. And sometimes that's people that they're deceased, their family haven't settled up what to do yet with their properties and whatever, et cetera, and the taxes haven't been paid, but they will be paid ultimately. And that will come in also with interest and penalties. So at the bottom line, you see that we budgeted $6,338,000, collected $6,210,186, and that's right at 98%. And that's pretty awesome and excellent job that the tax commissioner's office has done. So that concludes the report.
Well, you answered one question I was going to have about the outstanding bills that still have 30 days to come in, 29 days or whatever to come in, that there's nothing that y'all know of out there that's anywhere near, going to affect that much since we are under budget.
No, for as far as accounts receivable, they stay on top of that. And if there's a really big one, they go after those folks. I mean, Patty is kind of like Mary taught Patty. So they know who to go and who to call, and most of those are accountable. I'm not aware of any other expenses out there.
I think we have 2 months, 5311, the transportation grant.
Right.
That will come in because she needed to do 2 more, May and June. So
right. So 5311 is section 5311 of our public transit money, and so that probably would be significant enough if the certain line items that they touch have to have money there. And I'll tell you, it opens up another book. But anyway, what happens is if that budget on that line item for, say, gasoline, for the public transit vans is already zeroed out. They've used all that. After everything settles down, GDOT typically will allow us to reallocate some figures, and then they will ultimately send us some money. It's not always for sure, but usually in Georgia they will do that. And sometimes they'll even have a supplemental opportunity budget. So we probably will get a little bit off of those. It might not be the 100% value because some of those line items are already fully funded for the year, if you get deep in the weeds on that. But
And one other thing, Don, that you read every month when you read the first page of this report, down at the bottom of that page, you've got to go back to February the 26th of 2021. And there's an amount down there that was not there. And it's $1.8 million.
that's right.
And that is something we look at, it's kind of a gloomy tonight. You're talking about using the TAN. It's not the first time we've used the TAN.
No.
Probably won't be the last time.
I can guarantee.
But this is something that we were being really hollered at by our auditors back then because we didn't have nothing.
That's right.
And now, over the last 4 years, then we have amassed at least $1.8 million.
Well, it's more since 2012, 13 that we've really started doing that. But yeah, you're right. I mean,
Well, the
back
first
in
one on here,
2011, that
the
was
first issue
zero.
date on these that I'm looking at is 20.
They renew.
Yeah.
That's just when it renewed. But some of those go back. Those renewals typically are either on a 12.
I just want to say there's a positive note
yeah,
in all
absolutely.
the negative, that there is some positive notes in there that is money that's, that we have been able to.
And so what Robert's talking about is if we had a natural disaster occur of any sort, catastrophic, the tornadoes hit again. And in 2011, we didn't have money in the bank or in the fund balance to accommodate that expense. And then until you hire the people to clean up the side, the debris everywhere, and then they bill us, and then that first check clears the bank, and then that's what we have to turn into FEMA. FEMA's not going to just send us money. We have to send in a cleared check. And so if you don't have $3 million laying around, or even $500,000 laying around, it's hard to get that going and still make payroll and still do the things the county government does on a daily basis. So,
And if memory serves me right, we were about 7 years getting the last money from
At
FEMA.
least.
From 2011 all the way to then before we finally got the last money. That's the wheels of federal government turn slower than the wheels of anywhere else, I think, but we did finally get it. But anyway,
Right.
Everybody has heard the report. Is there any further questions, comments toward concerning our reading of our financial? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
You all right? A second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Need a roll call. Mr. Lowry?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Ms. Bradford?
Yes.
I vote yes, and our chair is absent. All right. Thank you, Don. Mr. Rogers, do we have any legal matters?
We don't, Mr. Chairman.
No unfinished business that I know of, so we will go on to our new business. And the reading of the minutes of the last month's regular meeting and any special call meetings will not be required since all commissioners have been furnished copies in advance. The minutes are a public record available for review in the county commission office. The minutes are included in the consent agenda and will be considered for approval under new business. I'll now ask our county clerk, Don Townsend, to read aloud the items consideration of our consent agenda.
All right. We have approval of the agenda as presented, approval of the previous meeting minutes, the review of the personnel status report, proclamation for Purple Heart Day on August the 7th, proclamation for National Senior Citizen Day on August 21st, National Service Dog Month, designated as September 2024 in Dade County. Resolution R-19-24, the appointment of Mrs. Sharon Moore to the Public Library Board of Trustees for a term commencing August 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027, which is a 3-year term. Resolution R-20-24, appointment of a member to the Region 1 Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Addictive Disease Board, which is Joseph Chambers, commencing August 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2028. We have the under SPLOST purchases through request for proposal under 2024-01. This is a 2024 four-door all-wheel drive Ford Explorer. There were purchase of 2 of those, and that was for the price of $47,415.76 per Prater Ford of Calhoun, Georgia, including the supplemental equipment that total, which was Motorola video cameras, striping, lighting, motor, radios, laptops, all that for total of $34,958.90. The total cost of each vehicle is $82,374,066. And then we also have the purchase of a Ford F-150 truck for the sheriff's office for base price, including the warranty, $51,980.16. And that is including all the equipment therein mentioned, titled $39,876.24 for a total of $91,856.40. We have under Public Works a 2024 Ford 250. We have 2 of those trucks, SRW 4x4 crew cab. They're $53,351.32 each, and that was a total for those 2 trucks of $106,702.64, and also a 2025 Kenworth tandem axle dump truck with Cummins 500 horsepower engine and Allison 4500 RDS transmission for $219,000, or at least authorized up to $219,295. Then senior building flooring from Southern Wholesale Carpets for VCT tile and LVT tile is $27,496.63. Under ARPA, we have the installation of the engine generator and automatic transfer switch for the administrative building and justice building, including 911 center and county jail. That's from Allied Electrical Contractor Systems Incorporated of Saudi Daisy, Tennessee for $125,165. We have the historic courthouse restoration project approval of the monthly report, including Foamatech spray foam insulation of Chattanooga LLC, Foamtex, I think that's how you say it, of Chattanooga LLC, 6-inch open cell spray polyurethane foam at $11,561. And I think that was coming out of the contingency. I believe that's right. The proposed agreements for occupants of the historic courthouse and museum, that's to the rental and the lease agreements as presented. Ordinance 2024, Ordinance 08 well, actually, it's going to be amending subdivision essential service ordinance. And that was the first reading only. a resolution R-16-24, disposal of surplus county property, and the resolution R-17-24, FTA, Title VI Plan Update for Public Transportation as presented by Penny Keaton, and then resolution R-18-24 for the USDA NRCS GACD 02-24-002 Georgia Association of Conservation Districts Contribution Agreement. It's a 2-year agreement for $45,000, $22,500 each year that we match. And then the announcement of 3 public hearings and a special called meeting at 4:30 on May 22nd for the purpose of considering approval of the millage rate and the school board's collection of their millage rate. That's a lot.
I didn't know we done all that. All right, you've heard the reading of the consent agenda. Any questions? Anything for our clerk? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to accept.
Making a motion to accept, as read.
A second.
Second, yes.
We have a motion and a second. Give a roll call. Mr. Lowry?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Ms. Bradford?
Yes.
Vice Chair votes yes, and the chair is absent. All right. I believe that's it. We don't have anything for any executive session. And I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We will adjourn. Everybody have a great August.